Why would I throw in the towel? I just got in my bag. I don't make no mistakes. I'm coming for mine, and there ain't no one taking my place. Listen, I've taken some L's. Yeah, that means I lived and I learned. Now I got some money to burn. Why would I throw in the towel? I just got in my bag. I don't make no mistakes. I'm coming for mine, and there ain't no one taking my place. Listen, I've taken some L's. That means I lived and I learned. Now I got some money to burn. Why would I throw in the towel? I just got in my bag. Slow the stars, what they calling now? I don't know what they talking about.
Yo, what's good, man? What's good, man? It's your boy NYG Double Deuce back up in the building, man, for another edition of Giants Conversations. And we're going to get into it today. We're going to get into it, man. It's a lot of hot and heavy topics out there being talked about in the Giants spaces on Twitter, even just out every day, man. I talk to Giants fans every day. You know, I'm always got my Giants hat on, my gear, whatever, and I'm always chopping it up with different Giants fans, just checking the temperature of the fan base. This is my favorite team. I do put a lot of energy into the New York Giants, so definitely, man, we're going to get into it today. That's why I love doing this podcast. I love talking to the fans and the fan base. It's fun. It can get a little heated and get a little nasty at times, but we all fans at the end of the day, and we all love this team. So, that being said, today's agenda, we're going to get into a little bit of the Giants-Rams preview. I still care about the game. I do want to see the Giants go out here and at least put a decent performance out there. But to be real with you guys, we're looking forward to the offseason and the draft at this point because we're technically officially eliminated from the playoffs. So, but before we get into all that, you know, want to check in with my chat, check in with the panel. Nobody up here yet. You know, hopefully we'll get some guests to come in and chop it up with me. But right now you got me and we got the chat. So what's good? What's good? Ball Foot Lifestyle. What up? NYG. What up to you too, bro? Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. All that good stuff. You know what I mean? So hope all is well. You know what I'm saying? And we here to talk Giants. You know, we here to talk Giants. Got my little Giants emblem on. So let's get into it, man. Giants-Rams today, 1 p.m. Big game for the Rams. Not a big game for the Giants. Of course, the Giants coming off of the, you know, pretty disappointing loss to Philadelphia. The Rams, you know, they've been chugging along. They've been doing their thing. And that is where we're at right now. So Giants-Rams. In this game, I'm just kind of looking for the Giants to, some of the young guys to start to show some things. Start to progress. Guys like Jalen Hyatt. We've seen Wan'Dale Robinson come on as of late. You know, I want to see John Michael Schmitz start to progress a little bit more. You know, guys like that, some of the younger players, you know, let's see if Kayvon Thibodeau can boost his sack number. Let's see, you know, if Ojulari can get in there, man, and show some things. Those are the kind of things I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the Giants to go out here and win this game, to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to win. And if they do, they do. But I'm looking forward to some of these younger players and seeing what they have to offer with this team moving forward because we are in a rebuild, you know, right now. And that's just the reality of this team right now. We're in a rebuild. This team is not ready to compete. I don't care if you go get a fucking quarterback. I really don't. We're not competing with these top teams in the NFL right now. Until we do something about these lines and this team overall philosophy and have us start to establish an identity, there's not much we can do to compete with Dallas and Philadelphia. We just not there yet, you know, particularly Dallas, San Francisco, teams like that. Philly's taking a step back. I don't know what's wrong with that squad, but you know what I'm talking about. The top upper echelon teams in the NFL, the Giants aren't ready to compete there yet, but we have promise, and we're going to get into all that, man. What's good, man? Converted Realist, what's popping? What's popping with you, man? Definitely appreciate you chiming in with me on this Sunday morning, getting ready for this game. Wells, what's good, Wells? What's up, man? Appreciate you coming through, bro. Michael, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you stopping by, man, chopping it up with me. And I'm going to get into it. Now, other thing about this game, Matthew Stafford and this Rams offense is explosive, and we all want Wink Martindale back next year with the Giants. So I'm also looking for this defense because, let's be honest, I don't expect anything out this offense at this point. Do you, guys, gals? You expect the Giants to go out here and hang 30 on the Rams? I'm not. But what I am expecting is for this defense to show up like they've been doing week in and week out and keep it going and try to at least limit this game from being a blowout. That's what I'm looking for, in this particular game. Now, Michael says, wide receiver 1 and O-line for me in the draft. Now, I'm going to get into this draft stuff because it's been the primary topic of discussion amongst Giants fans, particularly people that want a QB. Now, let me do something real quick. All right, let's pose this question here quick. Should the Giants trade up in the 2024 NFL draft for a quarterback? So, I put a post on Twitter. Matter of fact, let me show receipts because I swear these people think I'm joking when I say I've been saying things that these people just now starting to say a long time ago. But let me do this thing properly. I do have a platform for a reason. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining me here today. So let me do my share screen presentation. We're going to go here to my Twitter page real quick and let me go to this post. All right. Let's blow this thing up here a little bit so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now, I put this out here last night. So for people that think we should trade up for Drake May, consider this. It would take an entire draft class worth of capital to make that trade. Plus you're bidding against other teams. Do the math. So what's the plan to build a team, or is the QB the team? So what I did here was I went to, I think it's Draft Tech. I think that's the site. And I just looked at what it would take. It would take 3,000 points to get here where Chicago is. 3,000 points. The Giants currently right here at 1,700. You could drop possibly into the 7 to 10 range, possibly. But right now they're 5th. It's a good chance they'll finish 5th or better, especially if they lose the last 2 games. But right now they're 5th, and it's going to take 3,000 points at least, at minimum, to get up where Chicago is. So that being said, this is the New York Giants' entire draft capital for this draft. This is their point total right here, 2980.7. So you're literally giving up an entire draft class worth of draft capital to go get this magical quarterback that's going to save this franchise. Miss me with that. Use common sense here. You're giving up an entire draft class to bet on an unknown prospect. If I'm giving up that much draft capital, I'm going to go out and get somebody like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen to be 100 with you, even though that doesn't make any sense. But you're pretty much giving up draft capital for unknown commodity. An entire draft worth of draft capital for Drake May. And I don't know what these people's infatuation is with Drake May, but I don't think he's the best quarterback in this draft. In my unpopular opinion. But that's why y'all here. So y'all can get my unpopular opinions and not the Twitter bullshit. So an entire draft capital, an entire draft worth of draft capital to go up and get Drake May. Now, who does that make sense to? Talk to me. Talk to me. Pat, I thought I sent the link in the Twitter chat. But I'll go ahead and throw it in the chat real quick. Let's see. But yeah, tell me who does that make sense to? An entire draft worth of draft capital. All right, it's in the Twitter chat, Pat. The Big Blue Crew chat. But like keep it a buck with me. For Drake May. This who they want. Now this the weird thing about this Giants fan base right now. Half of this fan base, they think you need a black quarterback. And then the other ones, they want Drake May, which is a white quarterback. Now, what if they take Caleb Williams? He ain't white or black. See what I did there? You see? I could be funny. What if they take Caleb Williams? He's mixed. So he's not a white quarterback or a black quarterback. He's mixed. So tell me how some of this stuff makes sense.
Yeah, what's going on, NYG?
What's good, Pat, man? What's good, man? What's good, bro?
Nothing. I just got everything set up in the new crib, so shit, I'm tired.
Oh, okay. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. Yeah, I'm gonna be making some moves here soon too. But yeah, go ahead, man. Talk that shit, bro.
Yeah, a lot of these people on Twitter, they had me on some type of moron Giants fan thing,
Yeah,
and I
and
almost
called
won.
him out. I called him out.
I
For that
almost
shit
won.
too.
I think I lost out to Chuck Knox.
Oh, you lost? Oh, damn.
Yeah, I lost
Oh,
out. I was in the
yeah. I
Final
know they
Four
had
and I
you
lost.
in it. Crush. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, I'm so tired of moving. But you bring up a good point, man.
What's good, man? Like there won't be another QB like that for years. Right.
You bring up a good point, man. These people talking about this quarterback thing, and if you say don't get a quarterback in round one, if you don't get a quarterback in round one, you could do these things. It's like they don't understand anything but a quarterback. You got to get rid of Daniel Jones. It's just to get rid of Daniel Jones.
That's it.
And the dude is going to be here regardless. He has to be here next year because you can't cut him. So more than likely, he's going to be the starter regardless of what you do. And then you just brought up the whole chart. So it's 3,000 points to get up to number one. And we're currently at 5, which is only 1,700.
Mm-hmm. And our entire draft capital for this entire draft is 2,980. So it's not even 3,000 points. That's all the Giants picks for this whole draft. So you're literally mortgaging a draft class worth of capital, an entire draft class. Now, whether you spread it out over this draft or 2 drafts, that's on you. But you're mortgaging an entire draft class worth of capital for that number 1 pick. And I think that's what it's going to take. That's
We're number 5. That's what's crazy. 5.
Yeah, and you could go lower. You could be a 6 or 7 by the end of it. Who knows?
Yeah, especially if they win today. More than likely, we'd be at like number 7, number 8. Do you think that's worth it? Like, that's crazy.
I don't think it's worth it. And I damn sure don't think it's worth it for Drake May.
Right. Like, you're willing to trade everything. Oh, the 49ers did it, and look how they turned out. That's because they already had a foundation. I keep trying to tell people, if you have a foundation, you can do just about anything you want to do and just maneuver pieces. Yeah, the trend is the black QB now. Everything is about race now.
But
The black QB.
I said, what if they take Caleb Williams? He's mixed. So
Right.
that's going to piss off both fan bases. The ones that want the black quarterback and the ones that want the white quarterback.
Now it's, you got a slave mentality if you don't want one of these black quarterbacks over Daniel Jones. It's like, dude, we've said this a million times. I don't know how many times we have to say this. I don't care if they draft a quarterback. Just protect them. That's all I want. The quarterback to be protected, to see what he actually is. You still don't know what Daniel Jones actually is because none of these quarterbacks get a chance. We got pressure with DeVito, Tyrod Taylor, and Daniel Jones.
All of them.
All three of those quarterbacks are at the very top in quarterback pressures. Doesn't matter who you put in there. Now, I did get a little bit better when DeVito got in there because we actually had a starting offensive line start for multiple games in a row, and we got healthy. Now, imagine what Daniel Jones was dealing with when you had Thomas hurt, Neil hurt, John Michael Schmitz was hurt, Bredesen was playing freaking center, McKeithen playing right tackle and stuff. Like, come on, man. And Zudu was in there. Then the Zudu got hurt for a year. So,
Michael makes a good point. He says, no sense to me. Give DJ one more year, fix his O-line, and give him wide receiver weapons. I want to give him the option for comeback player of the year.
Yeah, look, and we do get to go ahead.
No, I've been wanting to say this, man. And people in this fan base, they get me fucked up. Because just because I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs to go draft this quarterback, that means I want Daniel Jones to be the quarterback in 2024 moving forward. That is not my opinion. My opinion is that the Giants can build the team and allow Daniel Jones to go out there and take the lumps and hits while your rookie quarterback sits and hopefully learns a thing or two and is not thrown in there in the fire like Daniel Jones was.
Right. It's like you want to see the whole thing repeat itself. Except this time, you're going to be saying the stuff that we're saying. And it's going to be cool because it's going to be a quarterback that you like. That quarterback going there, he's getting pressure 45% of the time when only 2.3 seconds. And if it's Drake May, we got to fix the offensive line. But I've been saying that for the past 4 years. But now it's valid because you got a quarterback that you like in there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's hypocrisy to a T.
And the whole black quarterback thing, to me, that's just what you call it, reverse racism. So you mad at the fans, or you think a portion of the Giants fans are racist and they only want a white quarterback, which could be true. Not saying it ain't. I see some things that's questionable, but your counter to that is to say, F you know who, and if we don't take a black quarterback, I'm gonna leave the fan base. That's your counter to that. This is why we have struggled as a community, a colored community, to have adult type conversations like this, because it's too emotional for us. You know what I'm saying? Who cares what color the quarterback is? We're rooting for the guys in blue, right? Not the black guy or the white guy. We're rooting for the team that has on blue. That's why I got these colors on today. That I wore this shit for a reason.
You want to know what's funny? The same people that are clamoring for the black quarterback with the New York Giants will sit there and praise Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence. You see what I'm saying? Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
like they'll praise all these other white quarterbacks, but then use the race when it comes to the Giants just because you want your narrative to be pushed and you just want somebody that the media praises. I promise you, those same guys that's saying, "Oh, you got to get the black quarterback," they draft Drake May and he's praising the media the way he's being praised. They won't give a damn as long as they got that quarterback that got that clout behind them. That's it. That's all they want. They want a quarterback so they could be like, "Ooh, we got the nice quarterback. We got the Drake May or the Caleb Williams or the Jaden Daniels." Because if they took, let's just say, if they went and took a black quarterback from a school they don't even know, they won't give a damn about him. They'll say he's trash. You see what I'm saying? If they went and traded for Justin Herbert right now, they would jump for joy. And he's a white man.
And Iman makes a good point right here too. Dak was a 4th-round pick. Hurts was a 2nd-round pick. When will this fan base learn? My point exactly. Why does it have to be you got to go get? Look, check it out. If you want a black quarterback that bad, go get Michael Penix in the 2nd round.
Because more than likely he'll be there.
And he's good. You just need a line to protect him. Obviously.
Yeah. If we don't have an offensive line, it's a wrap. I'm telling you that now. But if you put an offensive line in front of that kid, I think he could turn out to be the best quarterback in this draft. To be honest with you, because the way he throws with anticipation, the arm strength is on another level. I mean, I think he's like a notch below Josh Allen when it comes to arm talent and Patrick Mahomes. I think he's like a little notch above Lamar Jackson when it comes to just physical arm talent. But he throws with anticipation with the best. And if you got a deep passing offense like we have, throwing those crossing routes, that dude is perfect if you protect him. But we're going to have Evan Neal protecting his blind side because he's left-handed. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I would be against drafting Michael Penix in the 1st round. And that's the only reason, because if we had a line to protect, I would say get a quarterback right now, because I would know that Daniel Jones wasn't that dude. If we had a good offensive line, just a half decent offensive line, I'd be like, Daniel Jones is not that dude. He's getting blocked and he just can't see anything. Get your quarterback because we're ready. We're not ready to bring in a franchise quarterback and just throw him in there. It's not going to work. And then if they do draft a quarterback, let's say they draft Jaden Daniels. You think this fan base and all this crap is going to let Jaden Daniels sit on the bench for a year?
Absolutely not. I said 10 days, bro. Like my man said in Paid in Full. He was like, in 10 years we're gonna have matching bins. He said, nah, son, I'm talking 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days, B. Talking 10 days. He's not gonna be able to last 10 hours in training camp, bro. He's gonna make one completion in training camp, and Daniel Jones may throw one pick in training camp if he's even healthy for training camp. And they'll be like, Jaden Daniels should start. The first preseason game, the first drive that kids had, he could go 1 for 8. But if that one pass is a 40-yard pass down the field to Hyatt, put him in there. He's better than Daniel Jones. I promise you it's going to happen. And then I don't think you run a traditional system with Jaden Daniels. I think you run a system based off the RPO and his legs. I think he's one of those quarterbacks that's going to give you 3,000 yards passing, 800 to 900 yards rushing. I think that's what he does, and that can be dominant, a la Lamar Jackson. Does it every year. He's not throwing for 4,000, 5,000. That dude's throwing for 3,500 yards, probably 1,000 yards rushing every year, and that's dominant, bro. It's just dominant in a different way.
And what's funny about that, Pat, is the quarterback we got on the roster now produces the similar stats.
Yeah.
With the passing, not high touchdowns, not high passing yards, but he's getting it done on the ground as well. That's why I'm saying, that's why I'm a fan of Jaden Daniels. People want to talk about, oh, you hate quarterbacks and you guys don't like quarterbacks. No, I prefer this Giants team to go in the draft having these lines somewhat competent where they can build on them in the later rounds, and then maybe you go draft Jaden Daniels. or maybe you go in the second round, you take Brian Thomas, one of his and I am a fan of that now. Pairing the college quarterback with a familiar piece and that they were playing with. Not saying that that's got to be the guy or the number one guy. I just want my quarterback to have some familiarity going into the NFL. I think that's helped Burrow. I think it's helped Trevor Lawrence. I think Hurts too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely that's something that I want to see moving forward.
Well, how about
if
this?
possible.
Not to cut you off, but how about this? If you're going with that type of plan, get Rome Odunze in the first and get Michael Penix in the second.
I'm with it. I'm with it, bro.
Because I believe Rome Odunze with Hyatt out there and Wan'Dale Robinson, if you protect, I think Michael Penix could go off with those guys because he's played with Jalen Hyatt before, and that's that McMillan dude over there with Washington. That's the same dude. It's just Hyatt's a little bit faster and McMillan's a little bit stronger. But that's the same dude. And they can run that type offense with Rome Odunze because he's 6'3", solid. He can run those routes across the field, and nobody's going to keep up with him. You got Slayton, keep Slayton. And now you just going all over the field. You got the quarterback that can get it to him. Zip, 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 zip. As long as you protect him, it's a wrap. You give it to Barkley.
That arm strength,
in
the Meadowlands, back here where my background is in that stadium,
he would have no problem throwing the ball in New York. You will have no problem throwing that ball in. That's a fact. So if you want to do it that way, do it that way because you're not getting Malik Neighbors and Jaden Daniels. And actually, I like the combo of Rome Odunze and Penix better for us because that can be monstrous in bad weather. See, these are the conversations that they're not going to say that we have on Twitter because they think we're just Daniel. No. That idea that you're talking about, I'm with that. All Rome Odunze and then Michael Penix in the second round. Michael Penix can be afforded to sit a year behind Daniel Jones. Now, do we have the coaching staff to coach Michael Penix? Because Michael Penix is not that guy that's going to run all over the field.
That's the thing.
No, he's a pocket passer that can get out the pocket. He's like Dak. Dak can get out the pocket and run a little bit. That's how Penix will be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can live with that, though.
I can live with that, too, if you protect the man. If you can find a way to protect Michael Penix, give him Rome Odunze. Hell, in the second round, that second round pick.
Come here. Come here.
Oh, what's Coach doing?
What's up? No, I got a visit from my ex-girlfriend.
Hey. Happy New Year.
Y'all on the right squad. I love it. The New York Giants, I love it. Y'all on the right team.
All right. Thank you.
Love you too. Later.
What's good, Coach?
Always up to something.
Yeah, man. Pimping since been pimping.
I mean, I got a visit. I mean, I'm happy. So I'm sorry I'm late, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good, man. We chopping.
Hair all messed up. We know what you was doing.
Nah. I wish. Man.
But we was just talking about
what's good. We said
what's going on, champ.
Like Pat said, drafting the QB with an O-line would be disaster. That's why the Broncos are drafting Russell. Good point. Peyton said it. I need the money to build an O-line. DJ is our quarterback, period.
Look, they don't like hearing it.
Bookends, what's good? Penix has a better arm than Dak. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can get in the second round. Second round.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to do that, get Rome Odunze with your first pick and get Penix with your second pick. Get your offensive lineman with the second round pick. And I'll be honest with you, man. This lad McConkey from Georgia, he's growing on me. Pause. Lad McConkey got some skills, man.
Yeah.
The thing is, we got Okay, now look at this, Coach. I know you said you don't really care for really none of these quarterbacks in this draft. You think Shador Sanders is better than all of them, and I do too.
Shador's number one. Penix is number two, though. I do like Penix.
Yeah, let's say if we get Roma Doomsday
Mm-hmm.
and then Michael Penix in the first, second round,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that Michael Penix can work with Wan'Dale Robinson when we need the short game? You have Hyatt. They're probably going to keep Slayton and Roma Doomsday. Those are your three main receivers with Wan'Dale Robinson working in the slot. You interchange Slayton with Hyatt. And Doomsday, I feel you got to keep him on the field at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Waller at tight end, Bellinger at tight end, Barkley at running back. And let's say we get the power back that I've been clamoring for, and Braylon Allen in the third round. So your first picks are Roma Doomsday, Michael Penix, best offensive lineman available, preferably a right tackle to replace Evan Neal because the right tackle is his blind side. And then Braylon Allen in the third. Those are your first four picks.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm fine with it. I'm still more apt to. I'm ready. I'm not ready to give up on Neal. That's the only issue with me, because he hasn't had. To me, he hasn't had enough time. And if he's had bad coaching, it's not fair to him. It's just not fair.
Are you concerned about the injuries?
The injuries to any
2 years
player,
in a row.
any injuries to any player. I've said it before. If I coach worried about injuries, then that player does not need to be playing. Period. Or I don't need to be coaching. If you're a player worrying about injuries, then you don't need to be playing. Period. So no, I'm not going in. I'm not saying it's not in my head, and I'm not saying it comes to a point. But he's only been here 2 years. There are guys that have been in this league years that have injuries, concerns, and they're still playing.
That's
So,
true.
it's hard for me to give up on talent like that when, number one, the first thing everybody talks about is he's had bad coaching. Okay, you talk about the injuries. We're just making excuses to justify signing on another tackle, as opposed to, you know what? If Evan Neal has not been properly coached, and you get a better offensive line coach in here. Sorry, guys. If you get a better offensive line coach in here and he can coach him up, okay, great. He was all everything at Alabama and he was all over the place. So we know the talent is there. He really wasn't hurt that much at Alabama, if any at all. So
no, he wasn't hurt at all at
we
Alabama.
question. I mean, I've heard people questioning the medical staff with the Giants. Is there a problem there? I don't want to believe that because Ronnie Barnes has been one of the best for years. But why are the injuries so much with the Giants? I mean, it is around the NFL, so I will say some teams are having the issue, but if you look at it seriously, what's going
I
on there?
think
I mean,
too, bro. You know what? The way I'm thinking about these injuries now too. It could be just like
hold on a second.
the style of play that this team plays. Where'd he go? The style of like the style that this team plays because they they play passive. They're not aggressive. I think how am I trying to put this? It's like, okay, for one thing, you're on the field a lot, and because especially with the defense, particularly with the defense, you're on the field a lot. You're playing a lot of you have a lot of plays. You're playing a lot of plays, on that turf, on that field, so attrition could be part of this. You know what I'm saying? Just the way they play football, and the way they play football on offense, they're grinding out drives. They're running Barkley up into the teeth of the defense. They're doing these short passes. Guys are getting cracked at the line of scrimmage. Receivers getting cracked as soon as they hit catch passes. You know what I'm saying? Like the Giants ain't operate with no space, so it's like as soon as they make a play, they get popped. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so it could be that.
It could be that, but this was happening way before Dabo, way before Pat Shermer, way before Joe Judge. We've just been a team that just consistently gets hurt for whatever reason it is. It could be the turf that everybody says it is. I don't know what it is, All I know is that Evan Neal was misdiagnosed. They said it was just an ankle sprain. Now it turns out that he has a broken ankle, with broken bones in his ankle or whatever they said.
Bones
It's just
first.
an issue. Period. It's just an issue. Period with injuries
And you
here.
know what else too,
It's
Pat? With depth, the injuries aren't as magnified. We have our injuries. Every team has injuries. Our injuries are magnified because the guy that comes in to replace the injured guy is so bad. We're like, yo, we're an injured team. But in reality, Philly goes through this, Dallas, the Jets, like
yeah.
all these other teams, they go through the same thing, but they have the depth. So we're not mad. Remember back when Philly last year lost Hurts for a couple games. They didn't miss a beat. When Dallas lost Dak, they beat us with Cooper Rush. We lose Daniel Jones, we look different. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the way the teams are built. I think
Here.
when you
Well,
can have somebody else come in and really
first,
perform for that
yeah.
for the starter, then the
And the
injuries aren't going to
first
be as magnified. Go ahead.
first thing is we don't have any depth is because of bad drafting over the past 10 years.
Absolutely.
That's just a fact. You build your depth on your team with
You don't.
third, fourth, fifth, sixth round players, and you get them developed behind the players that you already have. And when they're ready to come in, hey, look, I know what to do. I could. He done taught me how to do this, and hell, I might be even faster. So I might even start looking better when I get a chance to get on the field for a long period of time. Why
Keep
you
in
think?
mind, they actually did win a couple games last year when he got hurt. I remember they won. They was winning with Gardner Minshew in there last season.
Yeah.
So,
So
but go ahead.
it's the missed picks like Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Zimenez, uh, what's the guy Smith, the other guy that couldn't get on the
Ellison
field,
Smith. Yeah.
Ellerson Smith. It's the trading of all our defensive tackles and not getting them replaced, being moronic. It's the trend of not drafting linebackers for almost 8 to 10 years. It's getting DBs like Aaron Robinson that suck. The boy from Georgia who did that stupid stuff, but it's
Baker.
turned out not to be true.
Yeah.
Baker, not replacing Prince of Mukamura, not drafting people like I can't stand the little dude,
Eli
the
Apple.
DB. Eli
Eli.
drafted Eli Apple,
Yeah.
drafting Flowers, drafting just a bunch of guys that don't make any sense, that didn't pan out, and drafted a lineman that didn't pan out. All those guys we drafted. That's why we don't have depth. We're still trying to find starters. Forget
But
depth.
they
We
want
still
to
trying to
get
find starters
they want to give up more draft capital for a quarterback when this team doesn't have
because
that
they
as it
believe
is, bro.
quarterback. They believe quarterback is God. That's what they believe.
Thank
They
you.
believe the quarterback. It don't matter what situation you put a good quarterback in. He's just gonna make everything happen. They really believe Lamar Jackson is doing all that over there in Baltimore by his damn self, even though he's had a top offensive line and a top defense behind him his whole career. And Andrews is no slouch. When you have a good tight end, that dude helps you out a lot. And you add that with the great running game behind him. He's had 1,000-yard running back multiple times. Why you think the Ravens able to bring in running back after running back after running back after running back? It don't matter who they put in there. He's going to
Yeah.
produce.
Facts. Facts.
Why? Because you have a dude that's 320 pounds running around at fullback blocking. You get people like Kevin Zeitler. And then their offensive line coach has got to be off the chain because it don't matter who's in there. They block the same.
They got
Oh,
Stanley. They
so
got Linderbaum. Yeah, that line's good.
that's
Yeah,
Very, very good.
the totality of everything has to be factored in, which me and Pat always talk about. That's why football is the greatest team sport ever. It's the greatest team business. I mean, but yes, there are people that want to make compartmentalize it, and you want to give the quarterback the praise, and you want to treat it in a sense like the NBA, like you have a superstar.
yeah.
No, quarterback is not to that magnitude. The quarterback cannot take over a game and dominate like that because you've seen it, but you disregard it. Where Patrick Mahomes throws a picture perfect pass to a receiver and he drops it. And what's her name? Just Giselle Munchin or whatever her name is. She said it. He can't throw the ball and catch it too.
Yeah, the
He
Tom
can't
Brady in
throw
the
the
Super
ball
Bowl.
and
Yeah, I
he
brought that
can't
up.
throw it
Yeah.
and he can't throw it and block too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. You need a defense sometimes to go out there and make a play and give the offense a short field just to give them a spark. That's why this is a team sport. But we live in a day and age with fantasy football, and I'm sorry, fantasy football is ruining the the viewership of football because everyone wants to see what their player and you get more points for this
Mm-hmm.
position over that position. And don't get me wrong, y'all love it. Y'all embrace it, but you know how to separate it. There are those out there that don't, and they bring
Yep.
the quarterback to a higher level. And
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, what's his name? Trent Dilfer. I have to find it and post it. He just spoke about it. He said, realistically, the average fan is falling prey to the politics from the TV shows because the executives are telling the former NFL players what to say and do in a sense. And because those guys want to keep a job, what do? They buy in. And
Yeah.
I don't begrudge them that point, but we're falling prey because of these executives. But when you have guys like Carl Banks who come on and tell you the truth, and they're not skewing it and they're being fair, but you're being told or you're having a phone hung up on you on a radio show. Why? Because everything is being skewed to make the quarterback be bigger than what they really need to be.
It started
Quarterbacks
Right.
with
get them.
It started with ESPN, coach. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
yes,
Fantasy football is one thing, and I agree with you. That's part of it. But this quarterback boosting up the quarterback, it started with
yes.
ESPN, bro.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair because I go back to the old days of Fox and CBS, and they weren't boosting it like this.
Facts.
They weren't. They were talking to you about the game, and
Facts.
you were learning about the game.
ESPN invented QBR.
Yes,
Let that sink in. Let that
yeah.
sink in. They invented a stat
And now
for
you
the
have
quarterback.
PFF and PFN with all these grading systems. And I always say, who's the one developing the grading? Is this some guy who's coming out of Harvard who's a mathematician? And I'm not saying there aren't some good points with it, but when you make that to be end all be all, and I've said sometimes with PFF, some of the grading is crazy, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the problem. And then you have the average fan who buys into that, and they've never really played it down, so they don't understand. They've never coached, so they don't understand the game of football fully. You understand some of it, but you don't understand the intricate aspects of it. You don't understand the position, the hand placements. You go by what somebody else who told you who never played the position. So, but go ahead, y'all got it.
Bookend says good teams can survive when their QB goes down because they have a good line and a running game.
Thank you.
A good line and a running game. Again, a good line and the running
Right.
game.
Repeat. Rinse. Repeat. Good line in a running game. Good
What
line in a running game. I don't care.
What did
Go
Cam
ahead, Coach.
Newton
My
just
bad.
say? No, no, no. What did Cam Newton just say to us recently too about the quarterback position? Most are game managers. Game
That's
managers,
what I'm
and
saying.
there's
I've been
nothing
saying
wrong with
that,
that.
bro. And
There's
for an
n-
actual NFL quarterback to come out and say what me and Pat and you and most of us been saying on this channel, I applaud that. You know what I'm saying? Because now we starting to shake people a little bit with these
and there's
conversations.
nothing wrong with being a game. I'm telling you from experience as a coach, you have to adapt your offense to your players. Some quarterbacks can't do what other quarterbacks. Some are straight dropbacks. Some are more they're athletic and they can get out on the corner. Some are dual threat. So some are can only read half the field. And when I say half the field, they can only look one side before they take off and go running.
Yeah.
So some you have to understand they're a little bit shaky. Some you have to understand, you know what, you hit him and he's going to break down mentally. So you have to understand each of the quarterbacks on who does what, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why when you see a Patrick Mahomes going off the way he is, and people going crazy. That's not right. And no, he's trying to inspire some of his guys. He's being a leader. And that's what he's trying to do, to elevate. Some quarterbacks, they don't have that in them. Daniel Jones is not like that. I'm sorry, he's not going to yell at the guys, unless he really, if you push him to that point, then it's a problem with that player.
I seen him do it like once when he told my man catch the ball.
Yes.
Oh shit.
So that's the thing, but everyone wants everyone. But see, now here's the thing: everyone wants every quarterback, in a sense, to be honest, to be the same, and that's not reality.
Mm-hmm.
Just like each of us have our own different personalities. No, that's the beauty of the game. And as a coach, that's the beauty, knowing your player and understanding how you have to put them in position to be successful.
Miz, what's good, bro? Link is in the Big Blue Crew Twitter chat if you want to join the show. I know you have an opinion on this topic, so you're more than welcome to come up.
So, look, y'all know how I feel about this. Look, if we getting back to the draft situation, Pat hit it on the head for the most part. The offensive line, I'm probably more prone to a guard position first over a tackle. But if you could attack a guy who can play both, I'm cool with that too. Whether it's the kid from Oregon State, other guy from Washington, Alabama, even if you take one of the Alt, or what's his name from Penn State. All right,
for sure.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, in the end, whatever the team does, I'm rooting for that player because he's on my team.
Yeah. Tudo, what's good, bro? Master salutes and respects to NYG22, Pat, Coach Ed, Big Blue Crew fam, and all diehard Giants fans in the building. Happy New Year and God's blessings to everyone, man. Hope you are blessed too. Tudo, man. Salute to you, man. Well wishes in the new year, man. And you know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Keep grinding out there, bro. And that's what I'm saying. We got real athletes in the Big Blue Crew that's telling you some of the same things we talking about. We have an actual coach in the Big Blue Crew telling you some of the same things we're talking about. It's not just me, NYG, speaking as a fan. It's not just Pat, Sports Talk, speaking as a fan. We have people that's connected in this game, in sports, period. You know what I'm saying? But you guys don't understand. You think if I don't come up here and say, fuck Daniel Jones, then I must want him to be the starter forever. That's not true. I've never been a big Daniel Jones fan. You know what I'm saying? But I understand football, and I understand ain't no quarterback going to do anything back there until you get these lines straight, bro. That's just a fact. You could dance around it all you want to. All day. You Gregory Hines on the topic if you want
dance
to.
On if you want to.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to change nothing.
Ain't going to change a damn thing.
One last thing, too. Okay.
Go ahead, Pat.
Your offensive line is the engine of the car. Your quarterback can be the outside looking pretty or whatever the case may be, but if that engine ain't working, I don't care how pretty that car looks, it ain't moving. It ain't moving, and that's the offensive line. That offensive line. If to use a pun, if your pistons ain't working properly, your engine ain't going nowhere, man.
Ain't going nowhere, bro.
So yeah, I know. I use the basketball analogy. I know. But yeah, seriously,
Detroit won a game too. Finally,
that's my point. That was my whole point. The Pistons were finally cranking, and they finally won. And they were able to move. So in basketball, your engine is your offensive line. You need your Pistons to crank so you could get your car going, running. Everything. So the quarterback can really look good when he throws the ball. Because all right, your quarterback looks good, but he needs to be upright. I'm telling you right now, when I played in college as defensive lineman, I want to take a quarterback's head. I want to hit a quarterback. I want to see snot bubbles coming out that dude's nose.
Right.
So he can't throw the damn football. And that's the point. That's the thing. But the average fan in today's day and age, and I get it, they don't look at it like that. And you get caught up with everything. The media, the fantasy football, the PFF, these different platforms. Even what we're doing, Some of them are confused. Some fans are confused. They're legitimately confused, and they don't know which way to go. And and that's the thing. But like you said, look, for me, you know what? If Carl Banks is talking, Harry Carsons is talking, Lawrence Taylor is talking, Phil Simms is talking, hello, hello. I mean, yes, there's some good guys on ESPN, and Herm Edwards for some of the things he says. For the most part, he's honest.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys are going to be
I like
straightforward.
Herm.
Yeah.
There's people that are
Some,
gonna give their honest opinion. They have to mix it up like that. But the people
yes,
that are driving that network have a narrative, and they
yes,
control the
exactly.
narrative, and
And
that narrative bleeds over into the fan base here with the New York Giants and other teams as well. You talk Pittsburgh Steelers, they talking about firing Tomlin and like stupid
Tomlinson,
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
but
their
here's the
narratives bleed over into these fan bases, and fans actually believe what they say because they're on TV and they're supposed to be the analysts and the experts.
but
You know
see
what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
that's
they're
Right.
where
but they're getting paid to push a narrative, so they're not really analyzing the game as if they're playing it. They're analyzing it in the sense of what their boss wants them to say.
and then here's the thing. You have to know how to do your homework. Period. Don't always take my word for everything I say. Do your damn
Facts.
homework.
Right.
I mean, I was an
I want
educator
you to so
too.
you can give your own opinion.
Exactly.
I
And that's the
want you
thing. I
to
would
do
I
your
would tell my
homework.
I would tell my students, here's the lessons, here's what we're going over for this week's lessons, blah blah blah. But you have homework to do. So just because I say this, go do your homework, do your research. Yes, you want to see a little bit from the other side. Okay, fine. But also, on TV, get a little bit there. But now pull up your resources, man. Pull up all your resources and take the time. Now, if you don't feel like you have the time to all this, you just want to get it from someone's source, okay, then you're going to be easily led. I'm sorry, you're just going to be easily led. We all have a narrative that we're trying to push to a certain extent. But, you as the consumer in that regard, sometimes you just got to step back, do the research with everything, and then come to your own opinion. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's my opinion, Pat's opinion, and YG's opinion. We're going to give you numbers sometimes that can give you facts, and you can take that. But in the end, you still have to, just like with a quarterback. I always tell everyone, you know what? I go by my eyes. I go by my eyes. I'll look at the numbers sometimes, but I go by my eyes.
Yeah.
And if you understand, if you
Right.
enjoy football, so you
Because
know how, some aspects of football, your eyes are not going to deceive you and tell you this player can play or this player cannot play. And if your eyes are telling you that, then I don't know what to tell you from there. Some players have talent,
Miss.
some players do not. And it's just that simple. Some players can make a 80-yard pass, some players cannot. Doesn't mean they can't be a good quarterback. Some players are going to have great anticipation, knowing when a receiver is coming across the middle to throw the ball. So you are point A, the ball is point B, the receiver is point C, and you want to have point B meet the receiver at point D, which is the meeting point. That's anticipation. So you just
I,
have to evaluate the
I'm,
quarterbacks and know what a quarterback is supposed to do. You know, get dummies for quarterback.
I want I want y'all and this the chat people in this fan base to go look up a dude who used to be on TV when he used to do the draft stuff, and his name was Merrill Hodge.
I remember Merrill
I don't know if
Hodge.
y'all
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
remember
I
Merrill
remember
Hodge
Merrill
when he used
Hodge.
to give out his
Mm-hmm.
takes,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to say, like, what are y'all talking about? This dude is trash. Like, he's not going to be good in the NFL. When everybody was doing the Johnny Manziel thing, he was the only one bold enough to
Yeah.
say, what are y'all talking about? This
Talking
is not going to happen in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find
exactly.
out why he's not on TV anymore.
Taj, what's good?
That
What's
was one
good,
of my
Taj?
favorite.
What's
That was
good,
one of my
Mac? What
favorite
up,
dudes
brother?
during the draft because
I remember
he
Merrill
gave
Hodge. Yeah.
honest opinions about those players.
Exactly.
And he always, and 9 times out of 10, he always turned out to be right about that player. He was like, he said it about the defensive end, Javion Clowney.
Yeah.
When he was
Yeah.
coming out, he was like, "Man, I don't know about this dude." He was like, "Yeah, he gives you a lot of flash, but
But that's it, Pat.
that's
The
not gonna
flash.
happen."
Most. There are
Mm-hmm.
people out there that only want to see the flash. They don't want substance. And we're about substance when you really break it down. And we want to give people the substance so this way they can make an informed decision, a complete informed decision. And that's what it boils down to. It's the simplest thing. So, great point, Pat. Great
Man,
point. Pat.
if y'all remember the players that he was killing, he did it for Mario Williams. Remember they took him with the Texans?
Mario Williams, yeah, the
And he
first
was like,
overall
man,
pick.
this is not the dude. He said, don't take him. He told the Lions, don't take Roy Williams or Charles Rogers, those receivers they took before Megatron. He was like, I wouldn't take those guys with a 10-foot pole. He came out to be right every time. He was like, man, you got to get him out of here. Because it is about narrative. It's like, and the people don't notice it. It's about straight narratives, bro. They're pushing a narrative. They're not giving true evaluations of these players. They go by height. They're going to continue to tell you that Justin Herbert is the greatest thing since sliced bread, knowing that this dude cannot perform in the clutch, because if he could, the Chargers would be in the playoffs every freaking year. They would. All those close games that he loses by incompletion first, sack second, third down, interception, it happens every time. Every time. They don't. I don't get it, bro.
Let Miz get in here, because I was told I don't welcome opposing opinions, and I know you have one. You know what I'm saying? So,
I never said that.
yeah, no. It's the people watching on Twitter. I know they watching. I know they watch my channel. I confirm that now, based on their comments. So, go ahead, Miz. What's your thoughts on this whole trade up for QB thing?
You already know me. I love you guys, so I don't want to argue with people.
Bro,
I feel
it's
like
not an argument, bro. It's just your opinion.
That's just how
My
I
channel
feel.
is called Unpopular Opinion Sports. I welcome unpopular opinions. I made this channel for a reason. Go ahead.
I just feel like, and if it's coming from me, I usually don't side with this side, but in the type of draft we're facing, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm assuming this is a highly talented quarterback class. Supposed to be, right? You never know what's going to happen. And where we're going to pick in this draft, and the type of draft it is, and with the fact that they gave Jones only 2 years guaranteed, which means they had a doubt when they did it in the first place, and with the fact that Joe Shane has been to 7 of Drake May's games personally, the Giants are drafting a QB in this top, and I think they're going to have a chance to hop New England, but whatever, 4, 5. If there's a guy you're crazy about, we don't know, whatever's going on in that building between Dabble, Shane, Mara, if they love Drake May or Jaden Daniels, I don't want to give up the picks because we need more things. But if you love a guy like they did when they saw Eli, you make the trade up. You can't be mad if this is the guy they believe is going to lead the next decade or decade and a half for us. They have to believe that if they're making that move, right? And I believe, because if you skip the QB this draft and Jones never becomes more than what we've seen, whatever it is, the team ain't right, the injuries, whatever. Some people think there's quarterbacks in every draft. I don't believe that. And that's my problem. I don't want to be left for another 3 or 4 years. And we were picking 4th in 2024, and we didn't take a guy. You know what I mean? So I believe, and outside of what we each personally want, I believe if I had a bet on it, they're drafting their quarterback right here in this draft. And I think we all kind of agree with that. Forget about what we all want, what we think they're going to do. I like Drake May. I think he's going to be really good if he's in the right place. And I'm starting to like Jaden Daniels a lot too. So I would like to grab one of those two and then still hit the O-line, obviously. We're not going to forget about
going to do that if you trade the picks, Miss.
You don't trade all the picks, but you got to try to.
You're going to have to trade all of them, bro. Pretty much. I showed you the draft. I showed you the draft chart on Twitter. You want me to pull it back up again?
I didn't see it, man. I'm not even home.
I got you.
South Carolina.
I got you. This is why I do what I do, bro.
That's the one thing, Miz, where most people don't realize the draft chart. Each slot indicates you know, the
Can you
value.
see it?
Read it to me.
So it's Chicago is 3,000 right here. The Giants are 1,700.
Hmm?
The Giants' entire draft capital for this entire draft is 2,980. That's all of their picks and the Seattle pick. You see it down here, number 53. So you're literally giving up an entire draft worth of draft capital. Whether you give it all this year or spread it over the next couple years, you're still giving up an entire draft worth of draft capital just to move up 4 spots to number 1.
Here's one other thing. Your number one draft pick going by next year, whatever the last value of the round one this year is, that's what the value of your first round draft pick is next year. I think it's like 500 and some odd points. So that's why, if you notice what Chicago did when they ended up getting a number one for the following year, is because that value is only at 500 points. So whether you're giving up your draft capital this year or like NYG is saying next year, that's the reason why. So that's why it's kind of hard when you trade up. You know, you got to look at what you're giving up. So yes, to your point, if you want the quarterback, then you know what, you move up and you go get him. I get that. I understand that. But understand what you are really
Coach.
That's I believe it will be what?
Yo, Coach.
Yes, sir.
You said your first round pick is only worth half of what your first round pick is this year, the one that's next year, or is it worth the same?
No, I think Staff said whatever the number 32 is. I think number 32 is 500 and something.
Number
So all the first
32,
round.
It's
what it
500.
is.
Yeah.
So what was number 32 worth this year?
It's 5. I think. Hold up, let me go back. I gotta go to my actual. I think it's 600 points.
All right, it's 600 still. The point is, you look at the
so that's 2,300.
Right there. That's just two first round draft
both
picks.
Second round picks. Yeah, both second round picks this year are worth what, like 700. So that barely gets to the
both of them,
3,000.
two of them together. Yeah, together 700 points. Yeah. So that's why it's like, you know, you're literally giving out, and we only have 7 picks this year.
Yeah, 590. That's the 32nd pick.
590.
So 597 is 2290. So you got to come up with another 710 more. The 2 second round picks this year is like 700, and you still may have to give up like a 3rd round pick the next year.
I don't think they give up both. They don't give up both two rounds this year. They definitely won't.
Then if you do it, it's even worse if you give up the second next year, because the second next year is going to be worth less than the second pick Seattle gave you this year.
Yep.
Because if it's based off the 32nd pick for your first next year, it's going to be based off the 32nd pick in the second for next year. So
that's the whole point.
You better make fucking sure that quarterback is it. Because if not, that's your ass.
Of course.
Yep.
That's a gamble you take, and you putting your career on the line as a GM.
Yeah.
And Gobbles in there too. So both of them.
And the 49ers was able to take that gamble because they had a solid foundation. They knew what they had. And they just needed a quarterback, which they thought they needed a quarterback that can just be wow everybody. But guess what? It turned out that Mr. Irrelevant was their guy. And they gave up 3 first-round picks to get Trey Lance.
So, Miz, answer me
just
this.
real quick, NYG, if the Niners don't have a loaded-ass roster the way they do, they would be crucified for what happened with Lance.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
That's what we're saying.
And to move up,
they would have been absolutely in hell right now if they didn't have that roster already.
It's a tough decision.
Yes, you're right. It is. That's why they get paid those big bucks. So I'm with
NYG. Got to head out real quick. Got to get ready to call the game.
I'll be over there real shortly, bro.
Do it.
All right.
I'm with you. I mean, if you got to move up, you know, and if you believe in them, then fine. I mean, I'm going to support them no matter what. I mean, that's my squad. But you know what? I'm also going to be extremely hard, bro. I mean, I'm going to be even harder than Most times I'm flow with I'll go with the flow, whatever. But yo, bro, you make a trade like that, bro. You better, number one, you better get the pick right, and number two, y'all better develop that quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Better develop
Now,
him.
now,
Do the
Miz,
right thing around him. Yeah.
I was saying earlier, if you're looking at the quarterbacks in the landscape of the NFL right now, particularly in the NFC, you got Dak, you got Hurts, this kid Purdy,
Right.
later round picks. Would
Yeah.
you be mad if the Giants waited to the second round to take that
Not at
quarterback?
all. I will not listen. If the Giants decided to trade back and get more picks, I would love it. If the Giants took the best left tackle in the draft at 4 or 5 and said we're gonna go with Jones, I'm backing up Jones. I'm not one of these people that hates his guts. Like I want to take anybody in the world over him.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is only this: don't want to be this high in the draft, and these QBs, 2 of them turn out to be special, and we could have had one, and we didn't do it. And then Jones never grows more than what we've seen. That's my fear, because then it's another 4 years of 5-win seasons, bro. I just don't want it no more.
Okay, now here's the flip side, Miz, to that, because you're right. You're right. I get it. Here's the flip side. You take the chance, and he's a bust. Now
Right.
you've traded up. Now it's not 4 years. Do you realize that
It's
you're
like
now
10.
pushing? Yeah. So
I
you're
know. I
damned
know.
if you do. You're damned if you don't. I get it, and I'm gonna say this because people keep saying that. What if they turn out to do this? What if you turn out next year? Okay, we draft whatever, and you didn't draft a quarterback, and next year you're bad, but you have an opportunity at a quarterback who comes out next year who's just as good as these guys, and turns out to be magical too. I mean, I get it. I mean, you know what?
Or what
Like
about
you
what
said
Yo,
earlier.
coach,
Bookend
but
says?
coach,
What about
coach.
what Bookend says? He says Joe. He said Ho. I know what you meant. He said Joe may have a 2-year plan, trade back, and you have 2 firsts next year. So what if they did that? What if they trade back, copped another first?
Exactly.
Built the lines up. Say we get another 5 or 6 wins, which I think is, even if you draft a quarterback, I don't see this team doing anything next year. You have to be honest with yourself, bro. And you have
No,
to set expectations reasonable.
they
Don't
could
put
get to
that
500.
expectations
They
on
could
that
be
kid.
500.
So if they come in and they say, okay, cool. Now you got 2 first round picks where you can trade up and not mortgage future capital. You can just trade up with the 2 first round picks that you have and go get your quarterback.
Well, it's Joe Shane's job to know what's coming out next year. I hope he knows. I hope he has some
Yeah.
sort of an idea
Yeah.
already.
Yeah,
I agree
that's
with you.
facts.
I mean,
Now,
right
our
now.
job to know.
What's good, Raphael? What's good? Salute, El
Also, coach,
Capitan.
Yes,
real
sir.
tell you the truth. We've been garbage for so long, and you know that saying, scared money don't make no money.
Yeah,
So if you're
true.
scared to make a move that you believe is a right move, that's not good either, because you're basically saying, I'm good with staying the way we are. Maybe we'll get an extra win next year. That's not good enough no more, man. I had enough of this shit. I had enough of getting ready for 1 o'clock and being torn between wanting to win, but a win's only going to hurt us. You know what I mean? How stupid that
Mhm.
sounds? I'm
Yeah,
tired of
I
that, bro. I
mean,
want to play playoff
that's you
football
know
today.
what, Miz. I get what you're saying. That's not part of my mentality. So, in other words, it doesn't compute in my head, man. I get it when people say it. I do understand it. I just don't agree with it. Period. I want to win. Period. I don't care. I don't care if we end up with 7 wins. I don't care if we end up. I don't. I want us to win. Period.
You
Wherever
want
we end up in the
sustained
draft,
success, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
I'm
yes.
like that
But
also. I'm like that also, brothers. But here's the real truth. A win these next 2 games only hurt. It does. It hurts
it
us. It does hurt
doesn't.
us. It
You're,
does.
you we're talking about unproven talent in the NFL. You're saying unproven talent is more valuable than, and it's going to hurt us because we're losing draft position. That's what you're
Yeah.
saying. You're saying so. Then you're saying these draft picks are the end all be all. The draft picks are the
When
end
it is
because
bad, what are you
because
supposed to look forward to get better?
you know what? I respectfully disagree with you, and I'm just going to leave it there. Because I don't see it that way. I just don't. I can't. I don't accept that. For me, I mean, it's just not. I'm
No,
not built.
I grew up the way you did. I agree. But just like that, there's a couple of teams that are bunched up with us for quarterbacks. So I just kind of looking at that just that way.
And that's the thing. I don't give two craps about anyone else. All I care about is the New York Football Giants, and I want us to win. After the season, then I'll worry about the draft. I mean, there's still things you can do. We're still talking about moving up in the draft. So if we win the last 2 games and lose draft position, but then we end up with the number 1 overall pick because Joe Schoen makes a massive trades this player and these picks and whatever, then what?
Yeah.
Because that to me doesn't make sense. It's for me as a competitor. I get it as a fan. I'm not your average fan. I'm just not. I'm a competitor. I hate losing more than I do winning.
Yeah, of course.
And when people say, "Oh, well, we need to lose," for me, if y'all think like that, that's your right. Go ahead with it. But for me, you'll never get me to agree with that. Never. That's why I say, you know what?
Well, I'm with you. If I'm on the field, I'm with you. I knew I grew up playing like that. Fuck that. Every play's the last play. Kill them. That's how I played. But and I think the Giants is going to give the Rams a war today. I really do, because I think Taylor's playing with a purpose.
So that being said, we're gonna head over to Big Pat Sports Talk.
I'll hop on in a little while
and get ready for this game.
Downstairs.
That's you good, man. I appreciate you you coming
Coach,
through.
feel better.
You know what I'm saying?
I wish you guys a happy new year. I want to hop
Happy
on
New
a
Year
few
to
minutes
you
because I
too,
saw
man.
you guys talking about that, and I love talking with you. But
I want to see you at that damn draft, bro. I want to see you at that damn draft, man. I'm gonna have to come down.
I'm gonna be there. I already told you,
bro.
Oh yeah, I told her too. This year I'm going to Detroit, and plus where we're picking, I'm gonna be there with you guys. But I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Everybody in the chat, I love all you guys. I love everybody. We continue being a football family. It's all good and fun, man.
Absolutely,
it's
man.
Great. And wish Coach Ed get better quick.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I like the Giant shirt.
Thanks.
I'll watch the game. I'll pop on in the middle somewhere.
All right, we'll be over at on Pat's channel, man. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for stopping through, man, for this latest edition of Giants Conversations. We got one more week, man. One more week after this week. And then we're going to be getting heavy into the draft, the offseason. I'm going to go through a whole offseason plan with you guys. It's going to be dope. Hopefully we're going to have some guests. We're going to do some analysis, some breakdowns. Hopefully, when Coach as well, we could do some film sessions as well. So keep it locked here, man. Unpopular Opinion Sports, man. Big Blue Crew. You know what it is, man. But Coach, you got anything before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm good, bro. It's just, let's finish it out, bro. That's it. That's about it.
That's it, man. We finished playing out the string here, man. But definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming through, man. And until next time, you know what it is. Deuces.
Peace.
Know it's game time, and me and my bros on the same time. No breaks, green light. No breaks, I got the green light. When you hit ons, know it's game time, and me and my bros on the same time. No breaks, green light. No breaks, I got the green. We gon' tear it down, yeah. We ain't going out, we ain't going into town, no. Money ain't the mission, no, we coming for the crown, yeah, we coming for the crown. If we going out, then we going out loud, eh. Putting on the show, young man, take a bow, eh. Even under pressure, they ain't never had doubt. But if we gon' do it, gotta do it right now.